I know I've said it probably 100 times, but I cannot believe that that is where we're camping.
Just a sheer vertical cliff right next to the van.
Not a bad campsite.
Well, that's not good. Woke up this morning in an absolute frozen nightmare. My heater stopped working, I guess sometime in the middle of the night. It's got an error code. I don't know if that error code is low fuel or if the fuel has gelled because of how cold it is outside. So the weather said it was only supposed to get down to 20 degrees, but it is currently -4 degrees outside, which is this in Celsius, which is quite a bit colder than 20 degrees Fahrenheit. So the diesel fuel for my heater probably gelled, and that is why I couldn't turn it on this morning. And for some reason, my water isn't working, which has never happened, no matter how cold I got, and my water heater is not working. So starting off the morning on a good foot, but still gotta brush my teeth. And luckily, since it's so cold out, we've got a bunch of snow on the ground, and I used it to cool some of my drinks last night when I got here. We can take some of that snow and boil it up. Just give me some water to brush my teeth with. I've also never woken up so cold in my entire life. I felt like I was waking up into a nightmare. Curled up in a ball under my sheets. I had to force myself to get out of bed to go up in the front, turn the car on so it would warm up. And the car barely turned on. Hi. It was beautiful out though. Nice frozen reservoir for our view last night with some mountains in the background. Ah, this pot is so cold. I'm not gonna worry about fixing the water here because of how freezing cold it is and the snow on the ground. I don't think the issue is a burst pipe or my pipes freezing or anything like that. Even if they are frozen, my entire system is made out of PEX tubing and braided nylon, whatever that stuff is called. So theoretically it shouldn't burst, it should just freeze and unthaw. Hoping that's the issue, but if not, I'll have to crawl back in there later today and try to fix my water system. But luckily everything else is working fine. We got the car started. My batteries are fine, they're not too cold. I think they have a internal shut-off system, so if they got too cold, they wouldn't kick on. But they're charging, they're discharging, so the batteries are good. Thankfully, I turned on my water heater last night before everything stopped working and heated up that water tank. So that way, at least that wouldn't freeze and explode. So that's good. But melting up some snow. Probably gonna have to get some more. So I also want a cup of hot coffee. Warm me up a little bit. After the traumatic experience we had waking up today. Grab a few more scoops. So if I remember correctly from either someone telling me this or reading this online, you're supposed to brush your teeth after coffee because coffee stains your teeth, but I don't feel like doing that, so I'd rather enjoy my coffee than rush it so I can brush my teeth. But I guess this is the benefit of the snow. I've got water. Perfect amount. I also think I broke my coffee maker if I don't stand here and hold the top down. And I guess now my coffee maker isn't working. I'm just gonna have to do this the old-fashioned way. It's a little bit of pour over, but I don't have a bag of coffee, so I'm just gonna have to cut open a few of these pods. Just use what's in there. Close this door because it is so cold. And days like this really make me wish I insulated my floor. My feet are literal popsicles. It is so cold on the floor. It's actually unbelievable. But at least my van started today, so we could use that as a source of warmth. There we go. And I'm using a filter in my drip coffee maker because the stuff that comes in these pods is like too fine and it like sifts right through into the coffee, makes it nasty. So that just kind of helps it filter. I need to get some like indoor winter slippers. I swear I thought I had a pair. There we go. One beautiful cup of snow coffee. I'm honestly kind of interested to see if the issue with my heater last night was that I ran out of fuel or that the fuel gelled up in the lines. So I'm gonna go pop the hood and we'll find out. Yeah, so I definitely still have fuel left, at least a little bit. So that means somewhere down the line, the fuel gelled up last night, which is the reason why my heater turned off and the reason why everything's broken. Except for me, at least we made it through the night. All right, let's get out of here. So you got some lower elevation areas where maybe we can get the back of my van warmed up a little bit. At the very least, get it above freezing and see if the pipe's freezing was the issue. That's the first time I've ever seen a negative sign on my dashboard and my tire pressure lights on because it got so cold and my car's all oil changed. Lights coming on even though I just got it changed. But -4, that's the coldest I've ever seen it. I didn't even know my car had the capability to put a negative sign there. So it's time to say goodbye to our winter wonderland lakefront spot for the night. Crawl ourselves out of this snow. Getting a little stuck there. And we're out. So the spot that I'm going to today is this small town in Utah that I have been looking at for so long to go there because there's this super cool spot on this cliff that I've been trying to find for forever and I haven't been able to find it, but I think I finally found the location of this camp spot. So that is where we're heading tonight, hopefully to camp on the edge of this cliff overlooking some of the coolest looking landscape in the world. But we got about a 2-hour drive till we get there. Cue montage. Alright, so we're making a quick pit stop on the way to where we're going tonight in this area in here because we're only like 2 miles from the turnoff to where we're going, but this spot that I'm pulling into right now is a spot that I have driven by before and thought it was a fever dream. I didn't really remember if it was real or not, or if maybe it was a dream that I had and I was just remembering it, but it is real and we are here. And I just had to stop and show you guys this landscape because it's like some of the most incredible landscape that I've ever seen in my life, and I've seen a lot. So this area is like a OHV area, off-highway vehicle, kind of recreation area. And you can kind of see all the trails off in the distance. I don't know if the camera's doing it any justice, but it genuinely feels like you're on the moon out here. Every single hill is like this moon lunar gray, and it's called the swing arm OHV area because if you can see up on those ridges up there, the tracks where the ATVs and the dirt bikes go up the wall, back around on all those hills all around this area. You can see it better over here, but it's just such a crazy landscape. And I remember driving by here and thinking like, this can't be real. It just looks so spectacular. But last time I was driving through, we were just passing by onto wherever I was going. I think I was actually going to Capitol Reef, the direction we just came. But yeah, I just had to stop and get out and look for a little bit. You can see someone riding over there, way off in the distance. We're only about a mile from the turnout to where our camp spot is going to be for the night. And it's about, I think, 15 miles off-road into the wilderness. So hopefully the beast can make it. I think she'll be fine. It's just so crazy going from mountains to stark red rocks to stark gray rocks within an hour. Southern Utah has got to be one of the craziest places in the world. And luckily we just got out of like the real snowy area, so we should be fine in terms of snow. But this is where our 15-mile off-road journey starts. Almost there, only about another 1.5 miles of this road. No way. This is crazy. Look at that. Now, I don't know if this is where we're gonna sleep, but this is the first view that we've come across since driving down this road, and it does not disappoint. Oh my God. Wow. I don't know if the camera's doing it any justice. I'm also kind of terrified this is very high up, but look at that. Got mountains over there. This weirdly lunar looking landscape here, red rocks over there, then snow-capped mountains way off in the distance. This is definitely the coolest spot that I've ever been to. At least that I could camp at. This is crazy. And this is free. Free camping. And nobody's here. Whole place pretty much to myself. I might try to drive up a little further, see if we can find another spot, but if not, this spot is perfect. Road's getting a little rougher now. This is spectacular. So it looks like it kind of comes to a point here, and this is like kind of it. There's a ring of rocks all the way around this, and then you just kind of turn around and go back. So this is as far as I think we can go. I wish I had my drone with me, but sadly I don't. This is incredible. How's it going? Good. Up here is definitely a little bit better. I don't know if you guys can tell how high up I am right now, but this is actually kind of terrifying. Full 360-degree cliff top views. So amazing that this spot is free. Look at her at the backdrop. Gorgeous. It looks like that's a campsite right there, so I think I might take that one. Right up here next to the cliffs. So I think the first thing, I got some water on my way here just in case my sink doesn't turn back on. Test it out. It's pretty warm in the back of the van right now. 76 in the back. I've had the heat blowing the entire way to try to warm everything up, but it is supposed to get cold again tonight. So I'm gonna go back there and see if I can figure out what's wrong with my water system. So I think it actually did freeze because this water bottle was sitting back here laying down and it's frozen, but it's melting. So hopefully, I mean, this filter is liquid, but I'm sure in this water pump right here, the water's frozen up, at least somewhat blocking it. And I don't have a heater to put back here to heat that up. I think we might give it till sunset to thaw out a little more and maybe kick back on. And if not, I'll just flip this, shut the water system off until I can get into some warmer weather or get a heater on it. I've got that gallon of water. Hopefully the heater is working again. Turn that on so at least we can keep the water warm tonight. I think the diesel should be fixed by now. Kick it on, see if it starts going. And I filled up my diesel tank on the way here too, so we should be good to leave it on completely overnight and keep the inside of the van nice and warm. But I mean, just look at this. This is crazy. And I don't think I'm gonna get too adventurous with going out on these rocks out here because the guy that was up here with his dogs told me that last week some kid was crawling out on one of these sketchy looking outcroppings that borderline look like they're about to fall off, like that one, and he fell off, so we won't be doing that. Good news, heater's up, cranking out hot air again, so hopefully we shouldn't have any issues with freezing tonight. Put my hat on because my hair is crazy. Having that heater makes me feel a little bit better that at least the issues with the water system being frozen won't get any worse. This is kind of one of those spots where it would be almost a crime not to eat outside. I also got the e-bike out and set up. I might take that out either later tonight or tomorrow morning. Ride down some of these trails, check some places out. I don't know if you guys can hear it, but that noise in the background that's somewhat annoying, that's the heater, which is why it's tough to use that in a stealth camping situation because it's somewhat loud. It's definitely not generator loud, but definitely not quiet. I can't believe this is a real place. But you can genuinely see from where we are as far out as the eye can see. I think I'm gonna make myself some quick lunch though. I went to this little grocery store on my way out here and picked up some stuff for lunch today, and also for dinner we're making some Cajun shrimp and some Cajun style roasted corn. I tried to find corn on the cob, but they didn't have any at the store, so we're using canned corn. I don't really eat lunch every day, but whenever I do eat lunch, it's always a simple sandwich like this. Still no water. I've stayed at a lot of beautiful views before in my van, but this is by far, by a long shot, and nowhere even kind of compares the best view that I've seen where I've been able to camp. And not only camp, but camp 100% for free. Whenever I get to places like this and get to look out over like a vast landscape, it always baffles me how something like this gets created. I've seen this place so many times. I've seen so many people come here, and I've driven past it before. There's like no signs, no road maps, no like anything that would lead you to here. I'm definitely getting up for the sunrise tomorrow. It's gonna be coming up somewhere over this valley over here. I know I've said it probably 100 times, but I cannot believe that is where we're camping. Okay, so I was just walking back to the van and I heard it start growling, and I was like, what is that? And then I realized, I think that was my water pump going. Oh, maybe not. You hear that? That is the water pump trying to pump water. Nothing's coming out yet though. Oh, you can hear it trying so hard. Oh!
There's definitely still some ice in there though, or something, because it's cold water is trying to come out. The hot water comes out perfectly fine, which is nice. But the cold water's definitely got some blockage in there from the ice still probably. But it's thawing out. Today's looking up. Let that run for a bit and hopefully kick out that blockage or whatever's blocking the cold water. And then I'm just gonna have to leave the heater on all night tonight so we don't refreeze. There we go. We have water. Beautiful. So when I was coming up here, I was only originally planning to stay here for one night and kind of leave tomorrow midday at some point. But this is one of those spots where you kind of just gotta take it in a little bit. So I might stay here tomorrow too. I want to take you outside and show you the one reason that I always see this place online. There's one specific photo spot that's really popular at this place, and I've always seen it, but no one ever says the location. Don't know why. I think it's to kind of keep this place as peaceful as it is. And there's a kind of satisfaction with doing your own research and finding a place like this. So I'm not going to exactly name it, but I'm sure you can figure out where it is if you try hard enough. So this is the spot down here. Might walk down there later, get a picture or maybe do it during the sunrise, but people walk out, you can see all the footprints down there, stand on the end of that rock and take a photo. And there's a perfect spot here for a tripod, so I might walk down there a little bit later once the sun sets a little bit, or tomorrow morning, get a picture of myself, because I never really get pictures of myself when I go out to places like this. I figure if I'm gonna get one anywhere, might as well be here. It's also a beautiful day out today. It's like 45 degrees. It's supposed to get down to 25 again tonight, so that's why I'm glad I got that heater up and running. So my heater's getting another error now, error 5. When I looked up, it says error code 5 means that the air intake is blocked and the unit is overheating. So we'll go check that and see if it is indeed blocked. Oh. I guess it kind of is. A bunch of dirt on there. I guess I drove through a mud pit or something, or a mud puddle. A bunch of dirt caked up in there, clogging up the unit. So go grab a screwdriver and I'll take that off for now. Soak it, clean it, put it back on later. Yeah, I mean, this thing is just caked in mud. We'll cycle the heater on again later tonight and hopefully it works fine without this on there. And honestly, for the price of that thing, it has worked extremely well. It was only $100 to maybe $150 on Amazon, and it's been reliable enough for 2 years. I didn't really install it the best. Definitely don't take care of it the best, so the fact that it's even lasted this long is incredible. But yeah, I think I am gonna go walk out to that rock. I guess Birkenstocks aren't really the best shoes for this. I'm also kind of scared of heights, so this is okay. Oh God. Okay. This is terrifying. Oh my God. Oh gosh. Okay. There we go. We did it. I've hiked Angel's Landing and done a bunch of crazy stuff before. I don't know why that was so scary. I just don't trust these rocks. None of them look stable. And I know a bunch of people have done that one before, so I figure why not. But let me know. Did it look cool? Did it look like a real travel vlogger? I really hope the camera is doing these views justice. I just feel like it never does. Like, you never get the true perspective of depth and how high up I truly am and how far out you really can see. You just really have to be here to see it. It is spectacular. Maybe I'm just a bitch. I guess that wasn't too bad. Definitely got the blood pumping a little bit. And also the thing is, that rock, if you look at it from all sides, it's supported underneath very well. But like something like this, that's way more terrifying. It's like broken off, it's overhanging, super thin and flat across the top. No way I'd go at any one of these. There is one thing that really doesn't get old about being out here though. Just kind of the unbelievable silence. No people, no towns, probably 40 miles in every direction. Oh, whoa, that was a close one. I haven't walked over here yet, but out on this point, it's like 360 all the way surrounding us. And even on the side I drove up in on, there's still views that way too. A little bit of snow down there, and there's some up here on like the underside of these rocks. Almost kind of looks like Bryce Canyon right there with the little hoodoo structures. You get a good perspective for how high we up, I guess, from this angle. Just a sheer vertical cliff right next to the van. Not a bad campsite. So crazy I have this entire place to myself too. That's the beauty of camping in the winter. Your pipes might freeze, but you get a lot of space. It's actually still so nice and warm in here. But clean out this filter a little bit. Like brand new. We'll go dump this outside. I think it's time to get started cooking some dinner. So I figured since I have running water, before I got to cooking, I wanted to get my dishes done, so. I also got the heater back on. Don't know if you can hear it, but it's running fine, so that's good. Probably replace this filter once it fully dries out. But all the issues we had this morning are fixed, and we've got a beautiful view. So there's not a lot of prep work tonight with dinner. We're just doing, as I said, shrimp and corn. And there wasn't very many options for shrimp, fresh shrimp, at a small grocery store in the middle of nowhere. So all they had was frozen, so we got to defrost them a little bit. Turn my water heater on for like 15 minutes, so we got some lukewarm water. So it's not freezing cold. And I don't anticipate this recipe being too messy. But while we wait for this to defrost, I'm gonna start working on the sauce. And this sauce really isn't that much. It's just kind of like a somewhat Cajun spicy shrimp sauce, I guess. But a little bit of oil, a little bit of butter, some sweet chili sauce, Worcestershire sauce, a little bit of chili powder, paprika, oregano, some fresh garlic that I just chopped off camera because I forgot to chop it before I started doing this. A little dash of parsley. It's supposed to be fresh parsley, but couldn't find any, so we're using dried parsley. And then the juice from a half a lemon or a couple squeezes of this artificial lemon with real lemon juice in it. And we can mix all that together, and that's gonna be our sauce. I'm gonna let that cook for like 5 minutes on low, just simmer away a little bit. And while we wait for that, I'm gonna start getting these shrimp now that they're thawed out so that they're ready to go. And there we go. Now that we got those done, you can take this off the heat, set that to the side for like 3 or 4 minutes, and then we can throw our shrimp in there and let them marinate up a little bit. Ooh, this warm water feels so nice. Alrighty, shrimp going in. We can get these nice and coated in there. And this will kind of help them finish thawing out too, since this mixture is a little warm still. But set those to the side and get started on the corn. Gotta wash all the shrimp juice out of this pot though. This corn is gonna be super simple. Not really much to it. Basically just gonna throw some oil in the pan and roast it up with some seasonings. And we're just getting a little color on these. Nice and roasted up. There we go. That looks good enough. Hands getting so hot they're almost turning into popcorn. But to that we can add a generous knob of butter, some salt, and then there's one last ingredient that I actually forgot. For the shrimp too, some Cajun seasoning, so throw some of that on those. And then also onto this corn. And give that a mix. Ooh, that smells so good. And that is it. We can take that out, set that aside. And now we are ready to cook these shrimp. I'll just take a few of them at a time, cook them up. Now that the sun's setting, I don't know if the camera's gonna pick it up, but you get a little bit better of a perspective of the depth and like stuff from all the shadows. Maybe, I don't know if you can tell on camera, but it looks like such a crazy scarred landscape all the way around. First batch done. Second round going in. So I'm gonna eat outside and get this door closed to, now that it's getting cold out, keep some of the heat in there so my water doesn't refreeze. Because that would be no fun. So crazy. Cheers. Pretty good. Oh, that corn is really good. Nice healthy dinner tonight. Corn, shrimp, water. Probably already said it 100,000 times, but what a view to have dinner with. Absolutely stunning. So for some reason my mic died again right here. I'm not sure what happened with it, but after I finished dinner I got in the van and I turned on all of my stuff to keep the van nice and warm, my water heater, my diesel heater, and it was really nice and warm in the van. And then I just played some Xbox until the sun fully set.
right, so I just realized that my mic was dead for the last 10 or 15 minutes of me filming while the sun was up, but I'm probably gonna add some sort of voiceover to that. Don't know what it's gonna be yet, but now we're back. And before I started playing some Xbox, I was talking about how being out in places like this, in these dark sky areas, it's usually some of the best stargazing in America. And I always love to go out at night and look at the stars. I never really show it. I usually do a star lapse, time lapse kind of thing, showing you guys, because it's kind of hard to get, at least for me, because I'm not really good with cameras. It's hard to really kind of show you guys what I'm looking at, because at night you can see the Milky Way galaxy with your naked eye when you're in places like this, and it's just absolutely spectacular. Obviously the camera doesn't pick that up, so we're gonna go outside and I'm gonna take a few pictures with my nice camera and overlay them to show you guys what I'm looking at out there. Hopefully it's a good night. I haven't been outside yet. I know the moon was up, but it's a waxing or a waning crescent. Don't know which one. See if we can get a few good pictures of the stars. You know what? I'm actually gonna wear this jacket. It's a little warmer. I got my camera. I never use this thing. You guys probably don't even know that I have it. I haven't used it pretty much yet this year. It's not even that nice of a camera, but it does take some decent long exposures of the stars. So go out there, see if we can catch any. That's pretty good. It's not the best. The moon's kind of ruining it a little bit. On my $20 Walmart tripod, my camera. Let's go see if we can get any good photos. So you guys probably can't see anything, and I'm also kind of scared because the cliff is like right there, and I can't see anything. Oh, it is actually a really good night. Oh, I know you guys can't see, but this is spectacular. I'm gonna try to get a few photos. All right, so I've got my camera pointed directly at the Milky Way galaxy because I can see it right now. And we'll see what kind of photo we get. Wow. It's just incredible. I mean, the photo is a little off center, but you can directly see the Milky Way galaxy. So it's a little bit more vibrant in the photo, but that's exactly what I'm looking at. And it is just spectacular to see this and to look up and to be able to follow the entire line of the Milky Way galaxy across the sky. You can see the mountains off in the distance, and then directly in the center there, where that faint cluster, that gassy cloud, those are the spiral arms of the Milky Way. So in this one, you can see it a little bit more clearly. Right in the center of the screen is the Milky Way. And if you can see that cluster of stars on just to the right of the Milky Way galaxy, where it's like 3 stars and then a bunch clustered together, that's Orion, and those 3 stars in a line are actually Orion's belt. And that's probably the easiest constellation to pick out in the night sky. So you can see the 3 stars in a triangle are kind of his shoulders. And if you look to the right, you can kind of see an arc of stars right around to the right of where his shoulders are. And that is his shield or his animal. He's holding either a shield or an animal depending on the artist's depiction. But his right shoulder, so the bottom right of that top triangle, is Beatrix. And his left shoulder, so the left point of that triangle, is Betelgeuse. And I think I'm gonna try to get a photo of the Big Dipper, AKA Ursa Majora. That one's kind of off to the left over the canyons, not over the mountains. But almost right in the center, dead center of the screen, there's 4 distinct stars. And that right there is Ursa Majora, or some people call it, I used to call it the Big Dipper. And then the Little Dipper is a little bit harder to spot. It's to the left of the Big Dipper, and it's like inverted, so you'll see a group of 4 stars and then a spoon curving up and to the right, as opposed to down and to the right. I'll try to highlight them on the screen. But yeah, it's pretty magnificent. And then I'll just put on some music and a few more pictures. There we go. I love looking at the stars. I could sit out there all night and do that. Saw so many things, and actually a fun tip is if you're looking up at the stars and you're trying to tell whether you're looking at a planet or a star, typically Jupiter and Saturn are pretty bright, so it's hard to miss them, but if it doesn't flicker, it's a planet. If it does flicker, it's a star. So you can like stare at it and you'll see it twinkle a little bit like a star. If it doesn't twinkle, then it's a planet, more than likely. And also, if you're in a place like this and you focus really hard, sometimes you can see like 17 dots in a row of Starlink satellites, and you can like focus on the sky and see satellites flying by and a bunch of cool stuff when there's really no light pollution. It's truly spectacular. And if you guys watch my videos a lot, you know I have a space tattoo on my chest of the pulsar map that they sent out on the Voyager mission. So I'll put a picture of it right here. But they sent out this golden disc with a bunch of information about humanity, and one of the pieces they put on it was a pulsar map. In simple terms, shows a map to Earth based on pulsars in space. So if aliens ever found Voyager, since it's just shooting off into space indiscriminately forever, if they ever find it, theoretically they could use that map
to find their way back to us, or at least figure out where we are, theoretically, which I thought was pretty cool. So I got it tattooed on my chest. Very fascinated with space. I also got my little spaceman over here. So if you didn't already know that, now you do. But gotta be up early tomorrow. I'm gonna try to catch the sunrise, and it's already getting pretty late, so I will catch you guys in the morning. Good morning. Oh, it's cold, but it is currently 7 o'clock. I think we've got about 5 minutes until the sunrise. My back windows are kind of dirty from the snow, but let's get out there. I'll throw on some warmer clothes real quick. Wow, I forgot how beautiful it was out here. Look at that. Here she comes. Should have worn some gloves out here. My hands are freezing. You can see the sunrise has already started at the top of those mountains. They're already getting the glow. And the tops of those cliffs over there. Should be hitting us any second. There she is. This is probably the first time that I've gotten up for the sunrise in a couple years. And I'm not gonna lie, as I was laying in bed, I almost didn't, but definitely glad I did. So cool. The valley still hasn't even been hit yet, but you can see the line of sun slowly creeping its way across everything. But yeah, there you go. Sunrise over southern Utah. I'm gonna go make myself some coffee. Maybe now that everything has defrosted a little bit, my coffee maker will work. I also got myself this coffee cup yesterday. Pretty cool. Or not yesterday, but 2 days ago. Either way. I just recently got this new coffee cup. See if we have water. And the heater worked. Let's see if the coffee machine works. Aha! I guess the coffee machine was just frozen. Because she's working this morning, kind of. Nice. There we go. Everything is officially working again in the van. We made it through the night without it refreezing. I bought these grapes yesterday for breakfast, but forgot to eat them. Love grapes. Cheers to that. So I actually threw some gloves on before I came out here. Drink my coffee. Keep my fingers on nice and toasty, but now it's hard to eat these grapes. I can't grab one. There are a few other photographers out here, but I can't imagine how early they had to wake up to make it up here. I didn't even want to wake up, and I only had to wake up 5 minutes before the sun rose and roll out of bed. I didn't have to drive up here or anything. Man, it is beautiful up here, though. I love my job. All right, so we've been hanging out here for about an hour and a half. It's starting to warm up a little bit, and the sun is getting a little bit higher in the sky, but I think it's time to take the e-bike out. Everyone else that was up here with me has since left. Last night, some guy living in a truck came over there, and then there was a couple of photographers out here this morning when the sun was rising. But we're back to being alone, taking in these magnificent views. I think I'm gonna take the e-bike out, ride it down the rim a little bit, check out some of the other spots, make some breakfast, and get out of here. So this is easily the best campsite I've ever stayed in. I've already said that, and I already cannot wait to come back, but I think I must get back on the road. So as always, I truly appreciate you guys watching. If you haven't already, think about clicking the subscribe button. It really does help out the channel, and I will catch you guys next time.